You know, the race did not go according to plan. It did not meet my expectations. It far exceeded them. And honestly, what could I expect? It was my first race. And we're off. What an atmosphere it was. Really, really energetic. I was feeling very excited. Also quite intimidated because there were so many people and a lot of silver riders, a lot of gold riders, even the bronze riders. They look pretty well experienced. And well, this was a new experience for me. I left last, and that meant that the track was pretty worn in. The roots were exposed, lots of muddy rocks were littered on the track. It wasn't easy. It's easiest to go first. The track is new and fresh, and the more people that pass, the more worn in it gets, the more slippery it gets. But I decided to, keep myself safe and to try and save energy as much as possible. If I don't do well on a hill and it's a little bit tricky and I'm stuck in the middle, I really have two viable options. Stick it in first and slowly go up, first gear, low revs, feather the clutching and slowly go up, or else go back down and try again. I employed both of these techniques several times, and also several times I didn't have to because I aced it on the first go, and that's very nice. This is the hardest track I've ever done. These are the longest hills I've ever seen. But it was so rewarding. I really had to completely fully open the throttle and just feel the motor run, and oh my lord, it's a whole body experience. Nothing like a two-stroke. I found it quite difficult to handle at times. Got thrown a little bit by some rocks and roots in the path. And dropping it, picking it up a lot, extremely tiring. I was exhausted by the end of the day, absolutely exhausted, but so satisfied. The feeling of conquering a hill and just getting to the top, strong. This it's unparalleled. Not much has made me feel like that. As you can see, the scenery is absolutely stunning. It was a beautiful day on the first day. The light was wonderful, lots of green, a very interesting path, very varied terrain, rocks, mud, dry, hills with logs, different kinds of trees, grasslands. Oh, it was truly a delight.
acceptable. Whew. Tricky. Tricky. Right. At least it's in the right direction. For now.
Okay, day two. Day two, it was raining all the previous night. Everywhere was muddy, it was a great big mess. And in order to prepare for that, I had to change the mousse in my rear tire because everybody said it was too hard, even though I had extra soft tires. It was a little bit of a team effort because I needed a bit to drill the mousse to make it softer. I didn't have one of those. So I asked some of our neighbors where we had our bikes set up, and it was a little bit of a team effort. Someone gave me, well, basically in the end, somebody donated an old mousse that they had, and I'm using that, and it worked fantastically. But this is such a fun memory because, you know, like, we were all working as a team, even though like nobody knew me, I didn't know them. The atmosphere was spectacular. We had a great bit of fun, a few laughs, putting our heads together to solve a problem. You know, discussing things, exchanging, you know, stories and experiences and all of that. A really, really nice community vibe. And I think that's quite typical of races.
Stop recording.
Another plus, another positive, another reason why people should do this. Unfortunately, the mousse worked very well. I had good grip, as good as it can be. You know, I mean, ultimately Bun is slippery, but I had no complaints. My front was sliding all over the place. I dropped the bike several times, had to pick it up several times. But nothing out of this world. I took it easy, particularly today, because I did not want to hurt myself. When it's slippery, it's more dangerous. And I have the rest of my life to live.
sake. Not happy with that. I don't know why my bike is dying.
Well, it's because there's a problem with the carburetor. As you can see, fluid flows into the carb and out the carb when I turn it on. That's because there was a piece of dirt stuck in the float bowl, blocking the needle valve open. So it wasn't closing, it was just dumping everything out. We had a nice little rescue though. So dodgy, but so fun.
Awesome. Whoa. Whoa. Ciao!
Pozdrav! Sad idemo prolog odvozit!
What do you think about the rescue service?
It's good, very nice.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I feel like Cesar.
You feel like
Cesar.
Mike Cesar with 2 horses.
It was such a wonderful atmosphere, such a delightful company. It was wonderful. You know, all the people that I met over there was such a nice atmosphere. Excitement in the air, joy. People are just happy to be there, happy to meet each other, happy to have a little chit chat and get to know someone new. Very welcoming. Obviously, everybody very understanding because they've all been where everyone else has been. Everybody started at the beginning. Everybody was at their first race. Everybody felt a bit nervous. Everybody was a little bit unsure of what was to come. Everybody wanted to do their best. And everybody recognized that we can't do this all alone. Sometimes we have to help each other. It was an absolute team spirit event, even though we weren't riding as teams. It was delightful. What an experience. So, regardless of how the race went, the atmosphere was top notch. Alright, that's the end of that. Stop recording. Hey, stop recording. Stop.